Chapter 1 Mission, a sacred assignment in disguise. You weren't just a moment. You were the mirror. The interruption. The sacred interference. They say he's moved on. But the angels whisper something very different. They say his soul still circles the place where your voice lives. That no distance has been able to bury the pull he feels. He tried to convince himself it was over, to fill the silence with other names, other habits, other paths. But what you awakened in him was not ordinary, it was divine. You were not a coincidence. You were a prayer answered in the body of a woman. That's what the angels are saying now. You came into his life like light crashing through a sealed room, exposing everything he had hidden from himself. At first, he called it fear. Then confusion. But now it's clear, he is haunted not by the end of what you had, but by how real it felt. And real is hard to forget. He still thinks of your stillness. How you didn't try to chase. How your silence echoed louder than any plea. And that, more than anything, is what draws him back. There is a string, invisible, unbreakable, still tying his soul to this story. And every time he tries to sever it, the universe tightens the knot. The angels say, she is the beginning he was afraid to deserve. So if your heart still feels him in quiet hours, it's not madness. It's memory. It's energy. It's the divine thread pulling him, gently but relentlessly, back to what was sacred. And this is not just longing. This is mission. This is soul work. This is destiny, unfinished. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8 verse 28. There's a rhythm in his chest that doesn't belong to him. It started the day he saw your eyes hold more truth than any past he ever trusted. He walks through his days as if nothing's changed. But inside, there's a war between silence and confession. The angels reveal. He thought he left you behind. But your energy moves with him, like perfume clinging to the soul. He pretends he's not watching. But he notices every time your light touches the room. There's a tremble in him that even he doesn't understand. And it's not because he misses you, it's because you're still in him. Not a thought. A presence. You are that page in the book he dog-eared and swore he'd return to, not realizing it would be the only story he couldn't forget. When others try to hold his attention, he smiles. But it doesn't reach the part of him you once touched. He compares the warmth, the depth, the electricity. And nothing, no one measures. Because you didn't just love him. You unlocked something. Something ancient. Something holy. He may not say it. He may not even understand it. But the angels say, he's waking up. And when he fully does, he'll remember who first made his soul feel safe. He never learned how to be still in love. Until you. Now, every time he quiets down, he hears you. And the silence becomes unbearable. He calls it timing. Bad timing, wrong phase, not ready. But the truth? The angels whisper. He was never prepared for the depth you brought into his life. You didn't enter quietly. Your presence moved things. You stirred questions in him that no one ever dared ask. Questions about truth. About wholeness. About love that doesn't demand performance. There's a part of him still clinging to the version of life he built before you. But that life doesn't fit anymore. Because now he's tasted something sacred. And sacred doesn't leave quietly. The angels show me moments he replays in secret. The way your laugh softened his walls. The way your silence held more safety than all the words he ever knew. And the way you saw through him. Not to judge, but to stay. It terrifies him. To feel seen. To feel known. Because the last time someone got that close, they shattered him. But you didn't. You stayed gentle. Even when he ran. Even when he disappeared behind excuses and fears. And that gentleness, it's the thread pulling him home. He tells himself he's moved on. But even now, his soul scans every face hoping to find your frequency again. And when it doesn't, he feels the emptiness more clearly. The angels say, she didn't just enter your story, she became part of your becoming. And no matter how far he goes, his spirit still leans in your direction. He doesn't talk about it. But at night, when the world is finally quiet, your name finds him. It's not always clear. Sometimes it's a scent. Sometimes a memory slips in like candlelight under a locked door. Sometimes it's your voice, not saying anything, just being. And that's enough to shake him. The angels say, he meets you more in dreams than he ever allowed in waking life. Because in dreams, he can't resist. In dreams, there's no pride, no distance, no pretending. Just truth. And truth has your eyes. He wakes up with your energy wrapped around him like morning fog. Not quite gone, not quite here. And it lingers. Through coffee, through conversations, through hours he spends pretending not to feel. But feeling is inevitable now. You became his echo. His mirror. The ache he didn't know he needed to face. And though he hides well during the day, his soul gets loud in the quiet hours. The angels are not subtle about it. They've been whispering your name through every longing. Through every song that stings for no reason. Through the way his chest tightens when someone mentions love. Because love still wears your shape. He thought dreams would fade. But instead, they deepened. And now, your absence shouts louder than presence ever could. This is not about memory. This is about soul recognition. And some recognitions don't go away. It started subtly. A restlessness he couldn't name. A tenderness in places he once kept guarded. The angels say, she didn't teach him love. She reminded him. Now he walks through familiar places. But everything feels different. Colors look sharper. Silence sounds heavier. Because once the soul awakens, nothing can return to sleep without aching. You stirred something sacred in him. Not with force, but with presence. With the way your energy didn't ask for attention, it earned it. At first, he blamed you. For the chaos. For the questions. For the cracking of the identity he had polished so carefully. But now, the truth rises. You were not the storm. You were the light revealing what the storm had buried. And though his logic wants escape, his spirit wants healing. He is changing. And he can feel it. Even in resistance, the old armor doesn't fit anymore. He smiles, but it's not full. He connects, but it doesn't reach. Because you are not just a woman. You were a reflection of the divine. Of what his heart always hoped was real. But stopped believing it could hold. The angels say, her love cracked open the heavens inside him. And now he can't unfeel it. He can't unknow the softness you left behind. This is the part where many turn away. But he's beginning to turn toward. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. Ezekiel 36 verse 26. He tried explaining it. To himself. To others. Why it was better this way. Why life made more sense without you in it. But sense is not truth. And now, the cracks are showing. The angels reveal. He silenced his heart to keep control. But your memory keeps rewinding the silence. He avoids your name in conversations. But your presence slips in anyway. In pauses. In the way he looks out windows longer than he should. In the smile he loses too quickly. He keeps telling himself he's fine. But healing doesn't sound like denial. And moving on doesn't feel like being stuck in the same ache. He knows. He just doesn't know how to say it. How to talk about the place you still live in him without sounding like he never left. Because the truth is, he never did. Not completely. The angels say. She walked in love. He walked away. But now he walks in circles, back to the place she last loved him. Every time he reaches for something new, his heart stutters. Because nothing tastes like truth anymore. And you were truth. Not easy. Not perfect. But real. And real ruins imitation. That's why he dreams in fragments. Because you still hold the whole. He'll try again to pretend. But even his pretending is shaped like your shadow. There's a quiet that follows him. Not peace. Not healing. But the kind of quiet that echoes every word he never said to you. The angels are close now, their whispers clearer. He thought silence would protect him. But silence became the confession. He watches your life unfold from afar. Maybe he doesn't double tap. Maybe he doesn't write. But his soul scrolls through your energy like scripture he was too afraid to believe in. He thought he could stay hidden. But the ache betrayed him. He told himself you'd be better off. But then why does your absence feel like exile instead of closure? It's not your laughter that haunts him. It's the way it used to make him feel human. And he's tired of performing strength. When all he wants is permission to collapse into what once made sense. You. But pride is a stubborn ghost. And fear, a language he speaks too fluently. He thinks he has time. But the angels know otherwise. They say, she was the offering. The kind of love that waits, but not forever. There's a knocking in his chest that won't quiet. And every unopened message feels like a door his heart still presses against. He might not show it. But every version of love he entertains now wears your silhouette. And none of them fit. He thought the path forward meant forgetting. But the further he walked, the more he realized. He wasn't escaping. He was orbiting. Orbiting you. Your memory. The place in his story where warmth met truth. The angels say. He cannot outrun what heaven aligned. And now, something is shifting. The ache is no longer something he avoids. It's something he listens to. It sounds like your name wrapped in regret. He's beginning to understand that. What he ran from wasn't pressure. It was presence. Yours. The kind that reveals everything false just by existing. The world told him to choose logic. But his soul aches for surrender. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. He replays the little things now. The way your silence felt safe. The way your gaze dismantled the fear in him without force. He wonders if it's too late. If he'll ever get the chance to tell you that. You didn't break him. You opened him. The angels whisper. She was not a detour. She was the compass. This is the beginning of his return. not just to you, but to the version of himself that only ever existed when you stood near. The path back won't be straight, but it's lit by grace, by love that never stopped pulsing. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Psalm 119 verse 105. There's a moment, quiet, trembling, when he finally admits it. Not out loud, but within. He wanted you. He wants you. Not in pieces. Not in secret. But fully, openly, reverently. The angels reveal. He is starting to crave the truth more than the illusion. Because what he chased after leaving you never fed him. Not really. He ate distraction, drank silence, but still starved for the wholeness only your presence gave. He remembers the way you looked at him, like he wasn't broken, just becoming. The way your love didn't ask for masks, but made space for him to unfold. And now, he finds himself wanting to go where he never had the courage to go. Back into the fire of intimacy. That doesn't burn, it refines. No one told him that the love that heals also confronts, that it holds up a mirror and asks, "Are you ready to be seen?" He wasn't ready then. But something is shifting now. The walls he built are crumbling, not through force, but through absence. The angels say, she was not a lesson. She was the answer he didn't believe he deserved. And now, he's starting to realize what he ran from was everything his heart had been longing for. There comes a point when even fear surrenders, when the resistance grows louder than the truth it was trying to silence. And in that moment, quiet, sacred, full of breath, he lets go. The angels gather now, closer than ever. He is no longer trying to forget. He is remembering who he became because of her. He doesn't want the noise anymore. Not the distractions, the substitutes, the self-protections. He wants home. And somehow, home sounds like your voice. There's no grand speech, no perfect timing. Only a soul exhausted from pretending, finally turning to face the one it never stopped loving. He may not come with polished words. He may not say everything right. But he will come genuine. And the authenticity is what you've always deserved. You were never asking for perfection. Only presence. Only truth. Only heart. And now, that's all he has left to give. No more masks. No more maybe later. No more hiding behind silence and pride. Because he's tasted everything else. And nothing compares to the peace that lived in your arms. The angels close this chapter with a seal. She was the promise. He was the delay. But grace is the bridge that makes reunions possible. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43 verse 19.